Hello everybody and welcome back. My name is Just Jakers and today we're kicking it off with our very first Elden Ring Nightreign video. What I'd like to do is get through each of these bosses with each of the different characters. We're going to start today with the very first character, Wylder, against the very first boss, Tricephalos. Let's get right into it, guys. Alright everybody, we are here on day one in the world of Limveld. We're going to take a look at our map here, and it looks like we have a holy cathedral just up the way in our path, so I think that'll be our first stop. But before that, we're going to stop here in this camp and take out these little guys, just get a free level right at the beginning. While we're doing that, I'm kind of going to talk about where I've been for the last little while. I know it's been a minute since I put up a video here on the channel. I've just been living life. Life has been a lot for the last little while. For those of you that don't know, back in March, I started college. I started taking college courses to start working on my degree and kind of further my career a little bit. Those initially don't really take a lot of time out of my day, but in combination with work and family time, it really didn't leave any time for content creation. So I kind of disappeared off the face of the map for a little while, and that kind of leads me to now. So about a month and a half ago, almost 2 months now, I was unfortunately laid off from my job. That opened up a lot of free time in my day, but it also added a lot of stress to my life, trying to figure out where I'm going to start working next. We've got a couple things in the works right now, but let's just focus on the fact that now I've got a little bit of free time to focus on some content creation for you guys. And what that means is the start of this kind of series here in Elden Ring Nightreign. Moving into the cathedral here, we're going to take out a couple of these wolves, just to get some extra runes. The smaller enemies in this game actually give a decent amount of runes, so make sure that you're not skipping them if you don't have to, right? Aside from that, we've got our first boss right here in this cathedral, and that's going to be the Oracle Envoys. With Wylder, this is actually a really easy boss. If you place yourself well and you've got an ult charged up, you can basically take out most of them in a single hit. And then the last one goes down super easy as well. We're up to just under 30,000 runes. We're going to grab a Godskin Stitcher here out of this drop, and then we're going to get ourselves a couple of levels here. I know we're working on a challenge here, trying to do this all solo, but I am not trying to do this at level 1. That is a little out of my pay grade. On our way to our next location, which is this fort over here, we're going to take out another couple of wolves. Again, can't skip 1,000 runes per enemy. Making our way into this fort, we get our hands on this Colossal Troll Knight's Magic Sword. Now, usually I wouldn't pick these up on the Wylder, but it does have a pretty decent passive effect, and the poise damage that it does is going to be really good for the Crystallian in this fort. We make our way up the stairs, ignoring all of these guys, just trying to rush straight to the boss. Making our way up here, we have a kind of duo fight with a Crystallian and this big head dude over here. We take him out pretty quickly, and then we start going to work on the Crystallian. Again, using that Colossal Sword, trying to make sure that we can get his poise broken quickly. As we fight this Crystallian, the night actually begins to set upon us, so we are officially on a time crunch here. We find our next nearest fort or kind of small dungeon within the zone, and we start making our way there. We grab the Cleanrot Knight's Magic Sword. I don't really end up doing much with this, but I grab it just for the sake of having it. We get one quick level up here. We're at level 5, and then we open up these chests, trying to see what we can find in this room. We snag one of these staves because it improves damage negation at low HP, and we already have a boosted damage at low HP, so that is a good combo for us to hold on to. As we make our way up the hill to our next location, we actually stop and take out this Scarab, hoping to get our hands on a pretty decent talisman. The Crimson Seed Talisman boosts the effectiveness of your healing flask, so it's actually a pretty decent pickup there. I'm pretty pleased with that. Making our way up to the ruins, there's actually a route that you can take that takes you straight to the boss. You don't have to run by any bad guys, you just run straight to the boss. In this case, we have the Albinuric Archers. This, generally, at least for me, is a really easy fight. The wolves stagger super easily, and you usually end up hitting both the archer and the wolf when you swing your sword, at least with Wylder and his great swords. The grapple actually is also super useful here, as we pull him in, get that ult off, killing the archer, and then taking out the wolf with one final swing. We got a couple of decent weapons here, nothing really good for the Wylder, but I do grab the Clayman's Cold Harpoon because anything with a cold affinity on it generally treats me pretty well in this game. At this point, we start making our way towards the castle in the center of the map. There's usually always some kind of shopkeeper here, so we grab ourselves a Wending Grace for an extra revive and a Smithing Stone 1 to upgrade our Wylder's greatsword. At that point, we're going to go into the castle and start fighting some of the more common enemies in there. In this case, it is Banished Knights. These guys are super easy with the Wylder. We toss a firebomb, and then we go in with our grapple, bring him closer, and start wailing on this guy. The grapple makes the Banished Knights super easy for the Wylder. Unfortunately, we do take our first death here from a poorly timed grapple, and I panic swung my sword, allowing him to finish me off there. We do lose our level, but we spawned right outside, so it's super easy to come back and get our runes back. And just like that, all of our runes have been recovered. Now we're going to come over here, finish off this other Banished Knight. Now there is one off to the side here when you have the Banished Knights that will drop an item like a boss would. So we start taking him down, drop an ult on him, and then we finish him off with a critical attack. After freezing him, I would have liked to have fought the big Elder Lion that is up there on the stairs, but unfortunately the Knights started to close in on us a little bit more. So just in a last-ditch effort to get the actual boss of this location, I came down here to see what boss we have. Took out a couple of these crabs after boosting my runes, because why not? Then we run up here to see our boss is the Red Wolf. I am not really good at fighting the Red Wolf, even on the Wylder, so I decide to take this chance. You know what? Let's go somewhere a little bit closer, fight an easier boss on the way in. And that is exactly what we do. On our way to the Night 1 boss, there's this fort that is directly in our path, and it just happens to have one of the easiest bosses in Nightreign, a Golem. So we make our way through the fort, get on up to the Golem, and take him out super quickly. This is why it's always good to stop and fight bosses on the way to your Night 1 boss, because in this case, we were able to get enough runes to get us up to level 8 on Night 1. Unfortunately, we didn't really get any good weapons out of it, but getting that extra level is always worth it. Making our way into the final zone for Night 1, we come across our starting enemies for this fight, which reveal to us that our boss is going to be the ever-feared Bell-Bearing Hunter. Now, the Bell-Bearing Hunter, initially when this game first came out, was super tough. Especially for myself, and especially for most solo players. I, at this point, have really gotten his moveset down, so it's not really a big deal, and we end up cleaning them up pretty quickly. Upon his defeat, the hunter ends up dropping one of my favorite passive perks, the Violent Deluge of Stars while walking. Really, for me, it ends up being anytime I heal, it gets those stars triggered. They're a good way of getting some decent damage off on bosses. Moving into night 2, our first stop is going to be at the nearest Church of America to start increasing the amount of flasks that we can use. You do not need to wait, you can immediately go out into the storm, it's not going to kill you, and we start making our way straight to our churches. On the way to our next Church of America, we stop off at this camp and take out a couple of Red Mane Knights. We make another stop on the way to the next Church of America at the lake to fight this world boss, the Flying Dragon of the Hills. These guys, generally, if you're low level, you're not going to want to fight them, but we're level 10, this guy's going to be a cakewalk. After cooking up the Dragon of the Hills, we make our way to the nearby Church of America to upgrade our flask. We stop at a nearby ruin to take down yet another boss as this Rune Bear, and then we head to yet another nearby Church of America to get our total flasks up to 6. We head to a nearby cave to get a smithing stone 2 so that we can upgrade whatever weapon it is that we decide to use on the Night Lord. Our final stop for night 2 is at a nearby fort to face yet another Guardian Golem for an easy few rooms. Our night boss for day 2 is going to be the Tree Sentinel and the Royal Cavalryman trio fight. This usually isn't too terribly difficult. The Tree Sentinel staggers super easy in this game, so we make quick work of these guys. The Tree Sentinel has been defeated, and with that, the rest of the fight should be super easy. The Royal Cavalrymen stagger real easily, just like those Albinorc archers that we faced earlier. So this is a quick cleanup. After upgrading the healing of our flask, I decided to do something that I heard that you can do, but I had never tried myself. There's a nearby ruin, and I figured we would try and get ourselves one final extra level before going into the boss. If you have small dungeons nearby after facing the Night 2 boss, you are absolutely able to fight those bosses if you've got enough healing. We were able to defeat the boss here, being the Erdtree Burial Watchdogs, and get ourselves 3 levels, getting us up to level 13 before our final fight. With all that said and done, it's finally time to head into the Spirit Shelter and prepare for our final fight. After giving it some thought, our only greatsword is still our starting greatsword, so we end up upgrading that to +2 and buying another Wending Grace. We also spend some money on the Opaline hard tier to get myself some extra defense. We also grab ourselves an Exalted Flesh and then make our way into the fight. My very first time fighting this boss, I actually beat it with Revenant, Surprisingly, one of the squishiest characters is the first one I've beat this boss with. I apologize, you hear my baby in the background, sorry. Anyway, the boss fight ends up actually really clean. I think I did really well. I'm gonna stop bothering you with my baby and let you enjoy the fight. And with one final critical strike, our first Night Lord is defeated with the Wylder. Thank you all very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, make sure you drop a like and subscribe, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.